some of you are thinking, well, do we need to do Hanukkah? Absolutely not. There's no scripture command to do it. The question is, should you be doing Hanukkah? Absolutely yes. Well, why? Well, because it's not only something that we do find in Scripture, and we don't have any negative about. We see Yeshua in John 10, we're going to read this. On Hanukkah, he's sitting, where is he sitting? In the holy place. He's by the temple on Solomon's porch. Okay? Honoring that it is Hanukkah. And so we should be doing this because we should understand, okay, here, let's just go into this real quickly. Let's look at John 10. I'll explain to you why we should be doing this. John 10, verse 22. And at the time of Hanukkah came to be in Jerusalem, and it was winter. And Yeshua was walking in the set-apart place in the porch of Solomon. So he's at the place that is represented by the festival of Hanukkah being dedicated on Hanukkah. Can we get the metaphor that when it was all a mess, we can look at it as being filled with darkness, right? The place was now in darkness. And as they cleaned it, they were bringing more and more light into the building. And so what happens when you light the Hanukkah each night? Well, one candle the first night, not too light, not too dark, but just a little bit of light. 2 candles the next night, then 3, then 4, then eventually 8 candles. With the Shamish, right, says 9 candles. That's a lot of light. You can light up a whole room. And so we're with the imagery here of the Hanukkah is that its light is growing brighter each day as more light is added and more darkness is removed. That's the metaphor I want you to have for you. Be devoted. What does devoted mean? When you're devoted to something, you obsess on it, you think about it, you love it, you're right? I mean, when you find somebody or something you're devoted to, it takes so much of you and your thoughts and your heart, right? That's what we call devotion. All right. So when you're devoted, to be dedicated is to be devoted to a task or purpose. So what's our task? Well, keeping the Torah is a task. What's the purpose? To become Him. Are you devoted to that? Are you dedicated to that? Do you have a single-minded loyalty and integrity towards that? What's the commitment level? What's the dedication level? See, you would do, this is going to sound interesting because it's going to actually play out in an interesting way. You would do so much more if there was a carrot just outside your reach and you do it and you know you get the carrot. Like if you had to show commitment and dedication to get a particular job or a promotion or a position on a team or some other thing, you would go above and beyond to impress those people you needed to impress so that you would get that thing you want, that raise, that whatever it is that you want. Well, but doesn't the kingdom tempt you enough? Inspire you enough? What's your dedication you're showing as far as the one offering you forever? When they went to dedicate the temple, did they just randomly go to just scrub it down, or did they have an idea of what it needed to look like? In other words, there was expectations, right? They had expectations of what went where and what needed to be what and how it needed to look and how to, they also knew that certain things had to be dedicated a certain way with a certain ritual to wash, to cleanse using, it could be using the ashes of a heifer, it could be using hyssop and whatever. There were different protocols for different items, right? They knew the expectation that was there for that temple to be ready to be used. So what are the expectations that we have on us as committed, dedicated, etc.? Well, we have behavioral expectations, don't we? The behavioral expectations are in the covenant. Exodus 19. What does it mean when it says Yahweh is Echad? Well, there's only one of Him. Well, that's not what it says. That everything that is Him is completely of one accord. Everything that is Him is completely aligned. Because there is a Father and a Son, but the Son is echad with the Father. He says this in John 17. He says, Father, I wish that they were echad, as we are echad, that they were one as we are one. In the same way, just in the same manner, to look exactly like how we are one, in that same way, I want them to be one. I don't know if they ever got there. I haven't seen too many people that have ever got there. Where two people can really be one in full, aligned agreement. I don't know husbands and wives, best friends, anybody like that. It's hard because it takes trust and it takes submission. If you've been doing this more than 3 or 4 or 5 years and you came out of some pretty ugly stuff, where would you be now without this? Or if you're going through some really awful stuff, how would you go through that awful stuff without him, with nothing? Look, I get why the world is mostly depressed and suicidal. Because you got nothing. You got nothing to hold on to. There's no hope. So what is there to hold on to? I mean, if all of this sucks, why would I want to stay here? Because I'm supposed to grow and learn here. There's a reason to be here in this mess. But if there's no reason, of course people want to quit, leave, numb themselves, drug themselves, whatever they do. Because they don't know anything else to look forward to. And they don't like now. So there's nothing to look forward to, and now is awful. I can't even imagine how people deal with that. You should be praising God every day that you don't have that problem. He says, and you're going to bind them as a sign in your hand, and they shall be frontless between your eyes, and write them on the doorposts of your gates and on your house. In other words, it should be something that someone looks at you and say, you're different, right? We go back to being set apart, that teaching we've been doing, in a discernible and openly obvious way. There's something different about you. And it's not like, there's something different about that person, they're weird. No, it's different. Why do you have, you know what, you don't seem to be all that upset when everybody else is going nuts. You don't seem to be depressed when everybody else has anxiety coming out of every pore of their body. You don't seem to be, you understand what I'm saying? Where's that coming from? How come you're not going crazy like everybody? Because I have this relationship. See, of course, you claim you have that relationship and you're acting just as, flipped out as everybody else. Well, then, do you really have the relationship? Because if you did, why are you getting so flipped out? But his words also tell you it's you that has to do it. You have to overcome 2,000 years of brainwashing that it was done for you. Nothing I'll say this, I've said this many times, nothing that you need to do was done for you. Nothing that you need to do will ever be done for you. This is because you need to do it. The things you can't do, he'll do for you. They will be done by somebody else or by him. He'll provide what you can't do. But if it's something you need to do, that he needs you to learn that you can do it, that development and growth that comes from you doing it, you need to do it. He is not going to undermine the value of that. See, a lot of you have wrecked your children because you've let them rely on you to do things they should be doing. And you've done for them things they should be doing. Do your utmost to add to your belief uprightness. To uprightness, knowledge. To knowledge, self-control. To self-control, endurance. And to endurance, reverence. To reverence, brotherly affection. And to brotherly affection, love. Give me 1 second here. You almost have the items that you would have for, like, if you were lighting the candles of the menorah. You have belief. Then you have uprightness. Then you have knowledge. Then you have self-control. Then you have endurance. Then you have reverence. Okay, brotherly affection. And then love.
Wow.
We might want to use that next year when we do this think about these things as you're lighting each candle. Day 1, belief. Day 2, uprightness. Day 3, knowledge and self-control. It just hit me while I was reading it. All of a sudden, I said, I bet there's 8 of them.